Hare Krishna. Please accept my most humble obeisances at your pious feet. तो हम मंगलाचरण करते हैं और फिर शुरू करते हैं, ठीक है? ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Thank you. So why are we here today, you know, all of you? What's the purpose? Sorry? Bhakti Vriksh. Okay, all right. Who out of you has never heard about Bhakti Vriksh? Never. Nothing. No idea. Just the word Bhakti Vriksh. Okay. All right. And I'm you also. Okay. I am seeing some new faces, so I would like to have a quick introduction. So I'll humbly introduce myself. I'm Damodar Dhananjay Das. I am serving the Congregational Development Ministry of ISKCON, and our job is to convey to everyone in the world, all ISKCON centers, about what do we have, what tools do we have, which programs do we have for the development of the congregation. So one of them is Bhakti Vriksha, just one of them out of many. So I am here to present in front of you what Bhakti Vriksha can do for you to enhance your preaching and to grow your congregation. That's the main idea, right? So can we have a quick introduction? Can you please tell me about yourself? And this is my wife, Leela Amrita Lakshmi Devidasi. So she will be, she's my boss, but she will assist me right now. Okay. So here we go. Hare Krishna. Let's start. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. One more. Go. Okay. So welcome to the Bhakti Vriksha training, and so hold it up. You can see, all of you. So what do you see? Can you please tell me, Mataji? What do you see? One devotee is watering the tree. Okay. What else? What do you see, Gaurang? Mahaprabhu. Here is Mahaprabhu. Okay. All right. Yes, Prabhuji. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is trunk. Correct. What do you see, Prabhuji? You can see Panch Tattva. Amazing. Very good. Okay. All right. Can anybody identify who is this? Okay. Guesses. All right. Okay. And who is this? Who is this? Okay. And who is this? Then who is this? That's right. He is also Lord Chaitanya. He is also Lord Chaitanya. Here is also Lord Chaitanya. And at many places you will see Mahaprabhu. So this is the whole science. Let's go. You can see Mataji? All right. Very well. Yeah. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, it says, I take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who himself is the tree of transcendental love of Krishna, its gardener, and also the bestower and enjoyer of its fruits. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the tree, gardener, and bestower and enjoyer of the fruits. This is about the Bhakti tree. Okay, next. Okay. So I am skipping the shlokas anyway. Thus the Lord brought the desire tree of devotional service to this earth and became its gardener. He sowed the seed and sprinkled upon it the water of his will. He sprinkled upon it the water of his will. Icha. Okay, next. By his inconceivable powers, the Lord became the gardener, the trunk, the branches, and the branches simultaneously. So the Lord himself manifested himself as the tree. Next. Thus, the branches of Chaitanya tree formed a cluster or society with great branches covering all the universe. So this tree is basically covering the whole universe. Next. A big fig tree bears fruits all over its body. You know what is fig tree? What's fig tree? You know what is fig? Yes, absolutely. Anjeer, right? So a big fig tree bears fruits all over its body. Each part of the tree of the devotional service bore fruit. Like fig tree, this devotional tree has fruits all over the body of the tree. The fruits ripened and became sweet and nectarian. The gardener, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, distributed them without asking any price. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started distributing this fruit. I am the only gardener. Now, this is very important. This is our instruction, the instructions for us. I am the only gardener. How many places can I go? How many fruits can I pick up and distribute? So he is now involving us. Come on, join my team. Help me. Next. Therefore, I order every man within this universe to accept this Krishna consciousness movement and distribute it everywhere. This is his instruction. The power and the voice is mine, but instruction is his. So, and every man in the universe, we are all of us. So it's our duty to help him in distributing the fruit. Okay, next. Here is a GBC resolution 96.414. ISKCON temples should try to annually double their congregation by training and empowering the congregation through small local Nama-hatta Bhakti-vriksha cell groups. Hold it. So this is a GBC resolution, an instruction from the GBC that we should, as a congregation, take up some authentic congregational system or a tool like Bhakti Vriksha or Nama-hatta, and we should annually double our congregation. So those who were present in yesterday's meeting, 2, 3, 4, and you were there, yeah. So you are also there. So in this meeting, they asked us to rate what is our congregational development. So in my group, I suggested 0, and they didn't let me do it. So then we had to come up to 3, and even Vishnunam Prabhu had rated 3 in his GBC thing in the college. So that's true. Like if we are supposed to double, and looking at the strength of the population of Ahmedabad, what we are doing is actually nothing, absolutely insignificant. We are not really taking the pain to grow our congregation. That's a fact. You look at the statistics, right? I hope I'm not overdoing it, right? Okay. Next. So, Srila Prabhupada's vision and inundation of Krishna consciousness throughout the entire world. Let's see what he says. Let's do something which will bring a peaceful revolution to the whole human society. Next. Now cooperate to place this Krishna consciousness movement at the front of all others. That is my request. Next. This Krishna consciousness movement is meant for a complete overhauling of the whole social, political, religious, moral, educational, and hygienic principles. Next, Rameshwar Prabhu says, Prabhupada said this in this past week that in future historians will study this period of world history, how this movement has changed the world. He said, in the future they will just note this period, how the world is being changed. So Prabhupada says, yes, a new renaissance, historical renaissance. So that is Prabhupada's vision, and he knows this is going to happen. But who is going to work for that? Us. We have to work. Next. Why? Okay, so now we are directly entering into the Bhakti Vriksha introduction. So why is it called Bhakti Vriksha? So as we saw we went through the shlokas of Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we are going to revise some of them. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya and his movement are compared to the tree of devotion, the Bhakti Vriksha. Srila Prabhupada writes in his summary of chapter 9 of Adi Leela, it is figuratively described that both the tree itself and the trunk of the tree are Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The tree surrounds the entire world, and the flowers of the tree are to be distributed to everyone. In this way, the tree of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu intoxicates the entire world. Next. Srila Prabhupada also says, our International Society for Krishna Consciousness is one of the branches of the Chaitanya tree. Hold it. So, we are just one of the branches of the Chaitanya tree. So if we go a little deeper into that, then we can also talk about Gaudiya Math and many other things. So we are just one branch, but we are important branch. You know that. So we are just one of the branches. Okay, next. Every small group of ISKCON's congregation is therefore a branch of the branch stemming from the Bhakti Vriksha, the tree of Bhakti of Lord Chaitanya. Here, uh, Bhakti Vriksha doesn't mean the program. It means the tree, devotional tree. And what it says, every small group of ISKCON's congregation, every group that we are running, they are the branch of the branch of the branch of the branch of the main trunk. Next. So the Bhakti Vriksha group is a type of Nama-hatta group that is especially geared towards branching out. This is important. Hold it. The Bhakti, see, this is the difference between Bhakti Vriksha and any other preaching program that you may be doing or we are doing. Bhakti Vriksha group is a type of Nama-hatta group. Why it is called as type of Nama-hatta, that I'll explain to you, because it is actually Nama-hatta that is especially geared toward branching out. So the difference between any other Nama-hatta or any other satsang program you are doing and Bhakti Vriksha is that this has been designed to branch out. Branch out means एक में से दो में से चार. It should multiply. That's the basic thing. Next. Just as in a tree, a branch of a certain thickness branches off into two, and the branching process continues until the tree has thousands and thousands of branches, all connected to the main root. Lord Chaitanya is the original root, and even one single branch from the Chaitanya tree can grow and form thousands of sub branches, small twigs, leaves, and so on. Okay. What is the goal of Bhakti Vriksha program? Still, I have not made it very clear that what exactly is Bhakti Vriksha, but we are just going through the basics like what is the goal and what is Bhakti Vriksha, where did it come from. So, what is the goal? One of the goals you have already known, to branch out, okay, multiply. So you can write down your points because maybe you might feel something important and just note down what you feel important. I can give you this presentation anytime, don't worry. I'm also videoing the whole thing. Lord Chaitanya said, I order every man within this universe to accept this Krishna consciousness movement and distribute it everywhere. Lord Chaitanya said that. We just saw. Next. So, the Bhakti-vriksha program is meant to enable everyone to practice, to grow, and to preach the process of Bhakti Yoga. By practicing, the devotee will grow in Krishna consciousness. The Bhakti-vriksha program is meant to enable everyone to practice himself, to growth, and then to preach. So that is the goal of ISKCON. We all know that. We all know that very well. The goal of ISKCON is to practice, to grow in bhakti, and then to preach, to give it out to others. So that's what is Bhakti Vriksh for. Next, he or she should also learn how to help others in their Krishna consciousness, so that they will be able to preach to new people. So we run many programs, and you know very well, you know it very well. I've been seeing it since years. There are many devotees who really don't know, even after 15 years of Krishna conscious life, how to preach, how to talk to others, how to convince others. When you talk to them, okay, Prabhu, Mataji, can you go and tell somebody? No, no, I can't. I just can't do kirtan. I can dance in kirtan. I can take prasad, but talking, I'm not confident. Have you experienced that? Many of us are even after years not able to speak. So here is the program which will empower the person to start speaking. That's the one of the goals of Bhakti Vriksha. Okay, next. The Bhakti Vriksha program provides association and spiritual community support, and when the new devotee becomes strong, he should preach. One cannot carry out Lord Chaitanya's orders without preaching. Do you all agree with this? We are on the same page? Yeah? If we don't preach, we are we are not in proper bhakti or in Krishna consciousness. We should preach. We have to preach. And to tell you the truth, unless we preach, we cannot become urina. That means our obligation we cannot settle. Prabhupada's obligation, our Guru's obligation, until and unless we preach. Do you agree with that? Yeah. Next. So Srila Prabhupada's idea of group system. Yeah. So let's hold it here. You may think, did Prabhupada ever name this term Bhakti Vriksha or Nama-hatta? What is your idea? What do you say? He did not. He never specified Nama-hatta or Bhakti Vriksha or anything. It was discovered after his going, after his leaving his material body. It was discovered later on from Bengal that there is a system already existing designed by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and that was very well established throughout, and that was called as Namhatta. That was discovered later on by Bhakti Charu Maharaj and His Holiness Jayapataka Goswami Maharaj. So I'll come to that how it was established. But before that, what was Prabhupada's idea of groups or satsang programs? So let's see. Srila Prabhupada indicated that the way to care for many people is to divide them into groups and delegate leadership to the more advanced. Just a minute, hold it. Yesterday in our meeting, we heard from Vishnunam Prabhu, like we don't have delegation of leadership. You know? We are not delegating leadership. We are becoming leaders, holding it to ourselves, and there is no other leader then, or maybe very few. So this program is the solution. Let's see how. That is the way of Indian teaching, Prabhupada says. that there is one teacher and how he is managing hundreds, that means there are groups. Okay, one who is elderly student, he is taking some beginners, write A or A like this, that he can teach what he has to he has learned, he can teach. Similarly, next group, was it clear? Did you understand what he's saying? He took some leaders or maybe some students, taught them and asked them to teach further, like that. So similarly, next group. So in this way, one teacher can manage hundreds of students of different categories. This is organization, Prabhupada says. Not that everything I have to do. I cannot teach anybody to do it. That is not intelligence. Intelligence is that employ others to help you. Employ others to help you. Not that I am the leader, I am the guru. That's it. No, that won't work. That isn't, that is intelligence. Not that, I was busy. I could not do it. Why? What about your assistant? Train assistant so that in your absence things can be done. Everyone should be teacher and student. Everyone should be a teacher and a student simultaneously. Always, throughout the life. Right? Okay, next. So now I'll first talk about the structure of Bhakti Vriksha. What is the structure of Bhakti Vriksha? This is very important for the leaders, potential leaders, how to structure it out. Because if you understand this properly, the whole Bhakti Vriksha, the success of Bhakti Vriksha depends on this. Sorry, I'm repeating. The success of Bhakti Vriksha depends on this structure. Okay? So please understand the structure well. If you miss anything in this, probably you may just keep running the class, Bhakti Vriksha class, but not the real Bhakti Vriksha system. Alright. Okay. So the structure. I was saying, I'm repeating third time, that this structure is the most important part of Bhakti Vriksha. If you don't understand this, you can miss out the whole thing. I mean, there are many people who are doing Bhakti Vriksha, but without the structure. If you don't understand the structure, it's just a satsang class. It's not Bhakti Vriksha. Okay. The structure of Bhakti Vriksha program is a pyramidal structure with the groups at the base. Pyramidal structure. Do you understand? Again, the structure of Bhakti Vriksha program is a pyramidal structure. You imagine a pyramid, and there's a wide base and apex, or the apex. Okay, so the pyramidal structure with the groups at the base, it resembles the banyan tree described in the Bhagavad Gita 15.1. Urdhva moolam adah shakham. So that is it. The root is up and the branches are down. The root is up, branches are down. Imagine, root is up, branches are down, and branches are many. Root is just one, or less as compared to the branches. Next. The idea is to have close supervision and accountability at all levels. This is very important. The idea is to have close supervision and accountability. Supervision and accountability. You're understanding the meanings? Supervision means overseeing the whole structure, how it is going on. Each and everything, each and every member, each and every class, the whole thing. And accountability, responsibility. Yeah. So that at all levels. So now we are going to see many levels. So this is all about all the levels. Next. This is very important. You can see how, the bolder ones are important ones, naturally. The mood of every leader on any level must be to serve the devotees under his care. The mood of every leader on any level must be to serve the devotees under his care, not to become a guru. Very, very, very clear. We are not here to become guru. Prabhupada is there, our gurus are there. We have to become servants. Servants of each and every member who is under us. We have to serve them. Like, like whom? Like the parents. The parents are serving the child. The child is being served. You know that. We know that. Our parents served us and still they are serving us. So we have to serve our children. All our members are our children basically. So we have to serve them and care. Okay, next. A higher position means serving more devotees. If you are on a higher position, you are serving more devotees. Like Murli Prabhu, we know he is in one of the highest positions and he is serving so many. We have to. The leader, as he goes higher, he has to serve more devotees. Next. So the idea and the structure. The structure of Bhakti-vriksha program follows Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur's Nama-hatta organizational structure. Bhakti Vinod Thakur's Nama-hatta organizational structure is nothing else but Bhakti Vriksh. Okay, can we go back? Just, yeah. Alright, so let me talk about Bhakti Vinod Thakur's structure of Nama-hatta. I'll give you a quick introduction. Like Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he set up this Nama-hatta structure, and his idea was to do exactly what Bhakti Vriksha is doing today. That was his idea. And he did it. How did he do it, or how much did he do it? I am talking about the statistics now. He established 500 Nama-hattas in his and surrounding villages. 500 Nama-hattas. Okay, how? Which type of Nama-hattas? There were nameplates on the house that this number and this house is this Nama-hatta. There were names. And even today, if you go to Mayapur, Navdvip, somewhere, there are still some houses with those nameplates. They're still there, the buildings. 500 of them, and he was managing the whole thing. How is it possible? So there's a wonderful book. Can you hand over this one? Yeah. This no Godrum Kalpatavi. Yeah. This one. Yes. So this is a collection of magazines, weeklies or monthlies maybe, which Bhakti Vinod Thakur used to publish during his time, and the whole series was called as Sri Godruma Kalpatavi. So some years back, Bhakti Charu Maharaj discovered the 5 editions of this Godruma Kalpatavi from Bengal, and he handed them over to His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, and he asked him to translate it and understand how we can utilize it in our preaching. So that's what he did. His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, from the Bangla texts, he wrote this book and he explained the whole system. And it has been actually dramatized. It's in a drama form. The whole book, when you read, you will feel you're watching some drama. And there are all comparisons, and for example, for holy name, he has given the name of sugar or sugar cane or jaggery, good, something like that. So I'm not going to explain more about this book. In fact, I have given 2 Bhagavatam classes on this book. So it's a very deep science, but the whole Nama-hatta structure, the whole Bhakti-vriksha structure stands on this. It's all about Nama-hatta and Bhakti-vriksha, this book. So I would recommend that you should, in fact, yes. Credits. Yes, exactly. This is the book. This is the book where there are credits also described, and how much you will earn when you sell what. Hatta means marketplace. So Nama-hatta, and it's a marketplace, and how holy name you can buy and sell, and the whole description is in this. So it's a very, very interesting book. Plus, in my personal view, each and every congregational preacher must, it is a must, I mean, you must read this book. Only then the whole mood will be understood, that what is the mood of Nama-hatta preaching or congregational preaching. The whole mood is in this book. So I recommend to read this book. Right. So what did he do? He set up the whole structure, and I'm somehow getting interest in describing little more about the structuring. How did he do? Did he manage himself alone the whole thing? No, he didn't. What did he do? He appointed a pancha. We know in villages we have panchayat. So he appointed pancha above himself. He came under the pancha. He appointed the pancha, and then he came under the pancha. And whatever the pancha would decide, the GBC, whatever they would decide, he would follow that. And then he structured out the whole thing, the management, to manage all 500 the Namhattas. He structured out the management. So that structure is what we are now going to see. Like, what structure did he do so that he could manage 500 Namhattas at a time? So let's see, how did he do it? The whole idea is that that each group has a servant leader. Now, this terminology, servant leader, is very important in Bhakti Vriksha, because each and every leader in Bhakti Vriksha is first called as a servant, so that he always remembers that I am not just a leader, I am a servant. So this terminology is very common. The whole idea is that each group has a servant leader. Each small cluster of groups is supervised by a devotee. Bhaktivinoda Thakur called this role as Upachakrapati. That means there are, say, 4 or 5 groups, 4 or 5 cells, and there is one person who is, okay, the cell is run by a servant leader. The one who conducts, is called as uh, anyway, all right. And then 4 or 5 clusters, the whole cluster of 4 or 5 groups is managed by one person. He is called as Upachakrapati. He is called as sector servant. And then every few of such supervisors are coordinated by another devotee. So maybe 4 or 5 sector servants or Upachakrapatis are managed by one more person, and that person originally called Chakrapati, and so on, adding levels according to the needs of growing congregation. It depends on your For example, Murli Prabhu has 200. So this structure can very well be fitted in this. It can be structured out, and then there can be Chakrapatis, Upachakrapatis, servant leaders, like that. So let's understand it further. Next. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur had 7 levels in place. He talked about 7 levels. The original names are Upachakra, a sector which has 3 to 5 groups. Okay. Then a chakra, a circle which has 9 to 15 groups. I'll also show you the flow chart, how it is, the diagram, so that you will understand. Mahachakra has 36 groups. A mala has 108 groups. Mandala has 3 to 4 malas. Mahamandala, 3 mandalas. So he was about, somewhere around here. Mandal to Mahamandal, he had already reached, because he had 500 Namahattas. And then Taranga, 3 Mahamandalas, Plavana, Mahaplavana, like that. It can go on. 1008 and more. Okay, let's see. So here is the structure. Just a minute, hold it. Fill in the gaps, fill in the blanks. Who comes here and who comes here? Yeah? Servant leaders here. Great, wonderful. And here, Chakrapati. Oh, then where will the Upachakrapatis go? Here, this is Upachakra? Okay. And here, this I have not clarified, don't worry. Okay, let's see. The program director, supervising preacher, circle servant, that's Chakrapati, sector servant, that's Upachakrapati, and BV group servant leaders. 1, 2, 3, anything. So this is the structure, hold it. So understand this structure. This structure has been derived from Bhaktivinoda Thakur's system, but being given little modern name, and then the whole structure has been set in such a way that the temple and the congregations work together. This is a very key role thing, very important point, that the structure has been designed in such a way that it benefits the temple the most. That's the idea. I mean, the whole congregation works for the temple. How? The program director, ideally, the program director and sometimes even the supervising preacher could be or should be from the temple. Someone from the temple should take up this role, program director. Program director actually doesn't have to play any major role. Just direct the whole thing and check the statistics, what's going on. Take the reports and send them to the GBC. That's the main role. But the major role in the whole structure is of the supervising preacher. That's the major role. He oversees the whole Bhakti Vriksha structure of the whole city or whatever. It could be anything. That most important role is of the supervising preacher. He has to work with the whole structure here, and he has to also work with the director. He has to pass on the whole the essence to the director, and he has to convey the whole meaning and structure it properly, oversee it, manage it, and solve the problems, everything of the whole structure here down. So he is the key role person. All right, and then the circle servant. Circle servant could have 2, 3, 4, 5. Up to 5 is still okay. Should not be 10, 15. Circle servants, you should understand how many sectors he is taking care of. And then the BV group leader, so Upachakrapati, and then like that. So each sector servant could have 2 or could have 3, 4, or 5, up to 5. Say 3 to 5 is the best for a Upachakrapati. All right, this may sound little theoretical or complicated, but all the Bhakti Vrikshas in the world which are really successful, all the cities, towns, countries, they have very well deployed and utilized this structure. Without this structure, no one ever has succeeded. That's the history of Bhakti Vriksha. If you really want to succeed, you have to apply this structure. That's very important. Right? Okay, next. Anyway, any questions on that? Should we go back one? Any questions? Any? Yes, ma'am.
Like this program director is different. Like one program director is Bhagavad,
Okay.
one program director.
Yeah, correct.
They are also interconnected.
No, not really. Not really. Because they actually don't need to get interconnected. They are interconnected through the GBC. Because I don't know whether you may know or not, but annually all the reports of all the congregations are supposed to be sent to the GBC, and there is a discussion, and then they publish that which congregation, which temple, which center, who is doing what, and what is the growth rate and everything. The statistics are always studied annually by the GBC, always. So even me as a servant from the Congregational Development Ministry, I have been collecting statistics from various centers wherever I have gone for training for Bhakti Vriksha and all. I've been collecting statistics and I've been passing on to the ministry. Ministry gives it to the GBC, and they read it amongst themselves, discuss, and then they publish that okay, this is the achievement. So that's how they are interconnected, but not directly. And there is no need actually, because say for example Surat Bhakti Vriksha, we don't have really anything to do. But yes, in Ahmedabad, even if there are different groups of different disciples of different gurus, but if they are running Bhakti Vriksha, they can still be interconnected, and they should be interconnected. That's the idea basically. And how they will be interconnected? Not too much of communication, but at least in a month or 3 months they should meet. They should have a common program, and they should work with each other with fraternity and with love. That's the idea. So we'll see how to do that. We'll see next. Any other questions on this? Thanks. What is Bhakti Vriksha group? All right. So now we're boiling down, coming down to the group system. A Bhakti Vriksha group is a small number of congregational devotees who meet every week to practice Krishna consciousness and to plan preaching activities. Pay attention to this, please. Bhakti Vriksha group is a small number of congregational devotees who meet every week to practice Krishna consciousness and to plan preaching activities. This doesn't happen in any of the traditional Nama-hatta, or there are no discussions about preaching activities. They come, they hear, they eat, they go. That's the simplest formula of any satsang program. Come, dance, eat, hear, and go. Doze, and then go. Okay, next. In these Bhakti Vriksha groups, the devotees learn how to nourish their spiritual creeper and to cultivate their service attitude in cooperation with others. What do you say? This is what is required, is it not? This is Bhakti Vriksha system. This point, to cultivate their service attitude, very, very important, in cooperation with others. That's what we were discussing in the meeting. Cooperation, unity, that's missing. So this is what can give us the cooperation. Okay, next. Every group member is also active in preaching and in bringing new people into the group. Every group member is active in preaching and bringing new people into the group. How does it sound? Imagine your group. Think about it. Your group members, each one is going out preaching, bringing in new people. How do you feel? It'll be amazing, unbelievable, magical. Yeah? Okay. Upon reaching 15 members, this is technical. The group divides into two. Very small group. Just 15. Upon reaching 15, the group divides into two. This system keeps the group small, thus maintaining an intimate atmosphere of personal care and nurturing, which is not possible in large groups. Do you agree with this? 50, you have 50 in your group. They're sitting there, and what happens? How many of them can you take care of? I just ask you to introduce yourselves to me. Do you think I remember your names? For sure, I don't. I can't. In how many of us are here? Maybe 20. But in first sitting, I can't remember your names, and then 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, and then maybe I might remember your names. But if there are 5 of them, maybe in the second time I might recollect. Oh yeah, you were there, and yeah, you were saying that, and you were wearing that. Yeah, and there are 50 in front of you. Forget it. Nothing you can't remember. You can't give them attention. So then, how they will grow? How will they grow? They are coming. You have been seeing. I hope you have been seeing sometimes on television the Bhagavad Kathas. 10,000 people sitting in the pandal, in front of the speaker, And how many of them are really getting converted? How many of them? Practically, maybe none of them, because there's no personal attention, there's no care, no personal attention. That is very important. Intimate atmosphere of personal care and nurturing. So that means the limit is 15. Okay, so let me discuss one thing about this 15 and division. You may or may not divide. Why they are talking about division here? Because suppose you started a Bhakti Vriksha, there are 15, and then two more join, then it becomes 18, then two more, then 20, and then like it grows, keeps growing, and then you think, no, still I can manage, don't worry, I can manage. But if you have 20 and if you divide them into two, let's say, okay, one day I'll take one class, another day another one. Or if you have someone under you who is little trained, not much trained but little trained, and you ask him, you monitor how he is doing, and ask him or her to take another class, then there will be two classes, and then two more will join in that, two more will join in yours. So then there will be more expansion, like that. So the idea is to branch out as soon as possible, as early as possible, and to multiply. That's our idea. We have to be like amoeba, multiply very rapidly. That's our idea. Next.
Okay, one.
Yes, bro. Yeah. Back.
So suppose 50 people and we want to divide into another group.
Okay.
Is that these the divided group are they ready to listen to an assistant or some other teacher?
So this is very very important and very
They should be prepared to listen to the next person.
appropriate question. I'm saying it's a perfect question, and this problem does come. So for that, you have to prepare your assistants or the ones who are getting trained under you. In fact, each and every member of your group should be trained perfectly and equally well, so that and then you have to understand the talents, recognize the talents, and understand who is going to become the better leader first, and then train them more, and then there will not be much problem. That has been the experience, around the globe, that when they multiply, sometimes, rarely, they would say that, oh, no, we just don't want this person. That's rarely there. They may say, oh, okay, it would be better if you would come, we are acquainted with your speech and everything, we like you. They may say that, but they will not say, no, we'll stop coming. That's very rare.
Before the assistants, is there any training program that before teaching to that group, we should train separately something?
No separate training. No separate training. I'll come to that. We are coming to that eventually. Good question. Next. The members help each other under the supervision of a servant leader. The members means the ones who are attending Bhakti Vriksha are members. Servant leader is the one who is taking the class. Members help each other under the supervision of servant leader and a trainee servant leader. So what is this new terminology? A trainee servant leader. So that's what. Like suppose I am taking a class and I recognize that I think Gaurang seems to be more intelligent, and he will pick up things faster, and he is now interested more. And then what I'll do is I'll train him little more. I'll push little more and pay little more attention on him, and then ask him to pay attention on someone else. And I'll tell you what, I'm actually doing that right now. Ask him. I have deployed him to take care of another devotee. That's what I have done already. I saw that he is outshining, he is doing well. So I asked him to, a person who joined a little later or new, he was new, relatively new, and they were already friends also. So I asked him, okay, take care of him and teach him, guide him, and nourish him properly. So he's doing it already, and the result is fantastic. I don't have to, go behind that person. I have to forget him. He is going to take care. So that's what is a trainee servant leader. And why this name, trainee servant leader? I think you can understand that means he is going to be the next servant leader, maybe in the next division or branching out. When there is a new class, I'll put him there as a new servant leader. That's the trainee servant leader. So the trainee servant leader is being trained and groomed to become the future group leader after the group multiplies into two. Here we go. This is the bottom line. This is what Bhakti Vriksha is for. I can say this is the essence of Bhakti Vriksha, to make group leaders. Because each and every person, ideally, not just the trainee servant leader, every member of Bhakti Vriksha, each and every member is supposed to be one servant leader someday. He must take one Bhakti Vriksha someday. That's the idea of Bhakti Vriksha. And that has happened. I'll give you the statistics at the end of this presentation. You'll be surprised, how can there be so many Bhakti Vrikshas? There can be only if this is done properly. So you have to really pay attention and have a small group and work very hard. Actually, this needs real hard work. This is not just a class. Let me tell you, please. This is not just a class that you're giving lectures. You have to pay. You have to boil your blood down and work on it really. Then you can get these results. So again, I read it again. The trainee servant leader is being trained and groomed to become the future group leader after the group multiplies into two. You can ask him. I got him to the meeting yesterday. He's relatively new, but I can foresee him as a trainee servant leader. So I'm pushing him. I'm trying to enthuse him as much as he can, take up responsibilities. I'm not forcing him into anything. I'm giving him freedom, but I'm giving him options. All right, choose. Is that right? So that's how you have to train, groom, and gradually bring someone up and make him a servant leader. And then next, that's not the only one. You have to keep on having more. Next. Yes. Take it.
Every group member is also active in preaching and bring new people.
Right.
So how?
So that's
If
what
we have started
yeah.
a new program. All are new. How we can?
I'll come to that. It will all be covered. Very good question. You understood his question? Like how are we going to ask them to preach? We will come to that next. So yeah, next. This is how you have to multiply yourself, your group. So is that clear? And then now you have two groups. Okay. All right. Next. Hold it. Meditate on this. Each one teaches one while being taught by one. Again, here is the ideal example. Each one teaches one, he is teaching someone. While being taught by one, he is being taught by me. That is Bhakti Vriksha system. That is the system of Bhakti Vriksha. Each one teaches someone while being taught by someone. So he is under training, but still he has started to train someone. Amar Agya Guru Hanna Tara Desh. So Mahaprabhu's instruction is there. Everybody should become a guru. So why not now join and then you become a guru straight. So that person also enjoys. New member, I have to train somebody, and I am also being trained. So he enjoys, right, Amar? Yeah. Okay. So how to do that? Let's see. Although the group leader takes care of all the members, each new member is also individually supervised by a personal guide. Although the group leader takes care of all the members, each new member is also individually supervised by a personal guide, someone who has walked a few steps ahead in his spiritual journey. I started a group and there are 10 members. After 5 weeks, 2 new members joined. So the ones who were there earlier, they have walked a little ahead of the others. They are 5 weeks senior to them, and then after 3-4 weeks another two join. So now we have very clear cut distinction, like who is new, who is in the middle, and who is senior. So then we can deploy them. Okay, you take care of him, you take care of him, like that. Simple. You got it? You got the point? If you don't do that, if you try to do it all by yourself, you cannot. Yes, bro.
How you manage to, for new people to have the same syllabus which will complete for the new people?
We have the syllabus there, we have the printouts, we have everything, we have the material. You can just hand it over, you can ask them. See, you have attended the class, you have understood the whole thing, you have done the exercise. Sit with him separately 1 hour, 2 hours, and make him understand. What you understood, make him understand. That's it. I am not going to repeat. That's it. Simple. So he also starts preaching directly. Okay. There is internal preaching, though. We are not talking about external preaching now. Okay. Yeah. When a new person joins the Bhakti-vriksha group, the group leader assigns the new person to a particular devotee to offer association and guidance. That's what is happening. In his case, the person who has joined was absolutely raw, typical, Devi Devta, and very typical. And he was much advanced. So when I assigned him, within, you will not believe me if I tell you, within 4 weeks, that person is now chanting 16 rounds. That's unimaginable because of his association. Because of his association. Day and night they're together and he is continuously drilling, and the result is there. So that's the result of this. Simple. So you have to assign one person to each one. That's very important. Next. This system ensures that the advancement and the training of the new devotee is closely monitored. The guide does not have to be super advanced. The guide does not have to be super advanced. He can be in basic level, but little advanced than the one who is below him, like that. He might have been practicing for only a few months. That's it. No problem. Not an issue. Okay? Next. This system also gives the guide the chance to repeat what he knows, thus deepening his understanding and realization. Revising, revision. There is a revision for him, and it deepens his understanding. And if there is a doubt, he will call us. Oh, Prabhu, I think now while explaining, I understood that there is some misunderstanding. So please explain to me. And then because he has to teach someone, he has to study. When he studies, you know how it is. We have all been, taking classes. So when we study, we really understand. For the class, when we study, it's different, right? So that deepens his understanding and realization, right? Is this whole thing very clear? This is very, very important part. Very, very important part. If you miss this, you're doing just a satsang program. That's it. Okay, next. Bhakti-vriksha system. Okay. So there are 6 parts externally, 6 parts internally of a Bhakti-vriksha system. Do you want a break? Do you want to freshen up, have water, something? Would you like to have a break? Anyone? Sure. You can, if you want water or something, you can take a break. Okay. So I'll continue. Weekly meeting for 64 weeks with 8 modules of 8 weeks each. Yes, bro. Alright, so weekly meeting with 64 weeks. For how many weeks does Bhakti-vriksha go on? 64 weeks precisely is the Bhakti-vriksha system, and then Bhakti-vriksha is over. Bhakti-vriksha is for 64 weeks. 8 modules of 8 weeks each. 8 8s are 64. So there are 8 different modules in Bhakti-vriksha. Let's see how it is. There are 5 Siksha level seminars and certification programs inside this. Inside the whole structure, there are 5 Siksha level seminars and certification programs. Next. 3 Vyuha or Mahamilan programs where combining all the groups, we combine all the Bhakti Vriksha groups together under one roof, have a Pandal program, something, go for big, huge picnic, enjoy, that kind of program. View programs, 3 Mahamilan in 64 weeks. Okay, next. Study group, simultaneously studying the scriptures. This is not Bhakti Vriksha. This is different. Ideally, after 25 weeks, ideally, I'm talking about what is written in the structure. 25 weeks, after 25 weeks, you should simultaneously side by side start a new class. That's exclusively for studying the scriptures. Like you take up Bhagavad Gita and then inspire them. Okay, Prabhus, now you know the basics. Because see, 20 weeks, till 20 weeks, there is no Bhagavad Gita. Till 20 weeks, we will be studying the science of self-realization, Yoga Path, and all that, such books. And then after that starts Bhagavad Gita. So you can inspire them. Do you want exclusive Bhagavad Gita study class? Then we can take it. Then you can start that side by side. In that, it's not a big program, very small, 10 minutes kirtan, do just a discussion on Bhagavad Gita and give little handful of prasad and go. That's it. That's not Bhakti Vriksha. If they agree, okay, that's ideal. Next, picnics and tours to various dhams. This is very important. Don't skip this. We in Ahmedabad, we have been going to Vrindavan. All the groups take their groups to Vrindavan yearly once. But other than that, also, you should have picnics. Like maybe 15 days back, we had a picnic. Yeah, we went for a picnic. My new Bhakti Vriksha group. We went for a picnic, and I can tell you, in my entire life, that was probably the best picnic. We enjoyed so much, is it not? There are so many games, It was just freaking out and enjoying. We had, the best time. And was it devotional? Not much. Not much. All the material world games replaced with the spiritual names. That is how it was. All the material world games with the spiritual names. Because they are all coming from Maya Devi's lap. So we cannot tell them, oh, become like Babajis and, have all very devotional things. No. We have to understand, this is outreach. We have to understand that they are still very, very new. We have to very carefully get them off from the lap of Maya Devi. That's very important. So we cannot give them, shocks like, no, you have to just, take Kartal, Mridang and just dance. No. So it was a spiritualized material world kind of picnic. So it was definitely spiritual, but very, very, very material world kind of. So we from 12 to maybe 6 or 7 in the evening, almost, yeah, almost whole day we spent in picnic. And at the end, when I asked, okay, so should we now stop it? They said, no, please continue. That was the mood. We had about 70 members. I mean, it was a Maha union, like that we can have picnics and tours. We should have. And why we should have? Because at the end of every module, you will have a seminar, and for that seminar, ideally you should go out somewhere, out from the traditional place. Go out somewhere, have a picnic, do this seminar, and I'll tell you the secret now. These seminars are very catchy. You are going to make them write and take an oath of chanting at least 4 rounds throughout their life, following 1 or 2 regulative principles throughout their life. Like that, you have to make them write, sign it, and then you have to give them certificates and all that. So it's a catch actually. You're bringing them to the picnic and then make them write. Of course, there is no force, but then you convince them that, yeah, see, we have to take an oath in life, otherwise we don't follow. Then they will agree, yeah. So okay, take it. You're already chanting 1 round, so take an oath or give it in writing that I'll chant 1 round at least for the whole life. And then the next module, next seminar, take an oath of 4 rounds. What's wrong? You're already chanting. Ah, yes, okay. Then you give them certificate in front of some maybe ideally temple president should give the certificate. That should be there. So that is ideal. Okay. Next. And the sixth part is festivals and allocating services during the festivals. You know how important it is. So it is temple centric. This program is temple centric. Means the festivals and allocating services during the festivals should be there. They will get self inspired. When they see you serving, when they see others serving, they will get self inspired. Next. Next. Okay, one back behind. The weekly meeting. Okay, so one more behind. Let's go back to the back slide. So these, each one, I am going to now explain to you in details. Each one, I am going to explain to you in details. Next. Weekly meeting, Bhakti Vriksha. There are 6 main parts of a Bhakti Vriksha class. Now I am coming down to the Bhakti Vriksha class actually. There are 6 main parts. His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj always says, if these 6 parts are missing in something, you cannot call it as a Bhakti Vriksha, because there are many people who say, we are doing Bhakti Vriksha, we are doing Bhakti Vriksha. But if you are not doing these 6 things, you are not doing Bhakti Vriksha. That's how it is. Let's see which are the 6 main parts. First is Sadhu Sangha or Satsanga or association, or look at this, icebreaker. What is icebreaker? Can you tell me, any one of you, what is icebreaker? What could be icebreaker? Or which ice we have to break? Can you imagine? Take a block of ice and then which ice? Yes, bro. Yeah, you. Mhm. Okay. What's your idea? Okay. Anything else?
Start interaction.
Exactly. Interaction. I'll tell you, in India we don't have that much problem of ice, but if you go to UK and there are 2 persons sitting beside each other on the chair, and then for months if they sit, they will never talk to each other, unless and until there is someone to introduce them. Here he's him and he's him. Oh, hello. Oh, yeah, yeah. Then they'll start talking. Otherwise they won't talk. That is ice. So this is icebreaker, means we have to break that ice of not knowing each other and make them very very friendly to each other, because we have only 10 or 15 in our group and we want to make it a very strong family. That's what the idea is. We have to make them a family, and for that we have to break the ice to make them know each other. So what is in the icebreaker? What could be there? Actually, material world games. Material world games, very very soft and very very, I'll give you one example. Like, we'll ask them, okay, we are sitting together, and then we'll ask them, okay, if you are flying from here to America and you have your next seat empty in the flight, and you are given a choice, who would you select to come and join you? Then someone said, Lord Krishna. Oh, that's too much philosophical. Don't say that. Be practical. Tell me really, whom do you like? Maybe Ashwarya Rai. Okay, good. So then, what would you interact and like that? So this, brings in energy, openness, and then they will laugh and start interacting. They'll see, hey, you are saying this and that, and the whole atmosphere will become very light, and they will become friendly. But does this go on till 64 weeks? No, that's not needed. So maybe 10 weeks, 15 weeks, and after that, you start discussion about the books of Prabhupada. Then ask them to read one paragraph, just one paragraph, and then ask them to say something from that paragraph, from their memory, not to read out. So just prepare one paragraph and speak something. That's 15, maybe 20 weeks. It depends on how much ice is there in your group. If you're already having friends in your group, you can skip the whole thing. No issues about it. We have in our congregational level ministry, we have book for icebreakers, a separate book. We do have it. Okay. So main thing is association. Then the next is Sankirtan, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra Kirtan, and incense Arti. What is it? So we need to get them connected with the deity. So how do we do that? Because they don't know anything about how to worship Krishna or why to worship Krishna. They are, in India they are already worshipping Devi Devtas, and many issues are there. So then how to get them connected? How to make Lord accept their service? So what we ideally should do is, a kirtan is being played, and then you lit up the incense, agarbatti, and then hand it over to them. Okay, come on, see, like this. One, two, three, four, then two, and then 7 times you move around. Come on, have it. And then they will come one by one, do the arti, and sit. That's it. Maybe 10 or 15 minutes you do it, and they will have that connection with the Lord. They will like it. They will like the worship, and they will then ask you, teach me more how to do it. So then they are caught. You got it? So it's a kirtan along with arti. Then they will be brought in properly, worshipping. Then the japa, nectar of holy name. Okay, this I am going to explain in my next slides, because I am going to elaborate more on each one of this. I'll tell you in the next time. So, Japa, Nectar of the Holy Name, that's Sri Nama-hatta, Prabhupada's book, and then it's group chanting. Next, Krishna Katha, or spiritual edification, or essentially it is group discussion, and you look at the timings: 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and 45 minutes. This is discovery, understanding, and application. I'll come to that. I'll explain to you what it is about. It is 45 minutes and it's a group discussion. Next, Krishna Prachar. Preaching is the essence. That's the book of Prabhupada. And preaching plans and reports. That's your answer, Atman Prabhu. This is the section where we teach them how to do prachar and what to do. From the very first class. They start doing arti. Very first class, they start chanting. Very first class, they understand what to do about prachar. Very first class. Okay, next. And then Krishna Prasad. Of course, one of the keys to Srila Prabhupada's success. You know it all. So never ever plan to skip prasad. Never. That's the biggest blunder you'll make if you skip prasad, or maybe a padya prasad. No, that tummy should be filled. It could be very simple, but that tummy should be filled. Okay, let's say next. Just a minute. Get back. Is this, by and large, clear to you? 6 sections. If you don't have these 6 sections, you are not doing Bhakti Vriksha. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, it does, and it never is 1.5 hours. It's always more than 2.5 hours. That's how it is. It can be customized. You can divide it into two. Then it will go for 64 into 2 times. I mean, 2-3 years. It can go on. It depends. Like in Baroda, they have a group and they are also qualified, and they don't, like she is doing a group of very qualified people, and they may not have time. They may say only 1 hour. Okay, then what to do? Then you customize. Do something. Do some change. You can do some changes. You can minimize something, or if you don't think this is important, you can skip this. That's not a problem. But you should not miss sankirtan. You should not miss japa. This is the essence, I mean the heart of it. And prachar, you must start training them to do prachar from the very first week. So this is about it. So depends. My experience has been of both the types. Personal experience. I don't know how to say, but I have taken Bhakti Vriksha for 6 hours. Can you believe it? Yeah, I have taken 6 hours Bhakti Vriksha also, and not now. This is long back. They are all now initiated, but 6 hours they used to sit, and they were interested, and I was interested, and it used to go on. I used to elaborate the whole thing too much, and there were classes I had to divide, and just 1.5 hours exactly, and then nothing beyond it. We have to stop. That's it. But it depends on your audience. Okay, next. You had any question? Yeah. True. You think everybody will not run at the same speed, but the system is such that everybody will be dragged to run at the same speed. It will be automatic. It will be automatic, and there will be no difference. You will see that practically there will be no difference. All will be on the same level in terms of knowledge. Yeah, extra reading, extra sadhana, that's different what they do out of the class. But as far as class is concerned, they'll all always remain in the same plane. Why? We'll come to know now. You have any questions? Okay. Okay. So just hold it. Ideal sitting arrangement for a Bhakti Vriksha group. What do you think? What should be the ideal sitting arrangement for a Bhakti Vriksha group? This type? Circle. Oh, you know so much. Half circle. Why half circle? Sit in the center, huh? Okay, let's see. Okay, let's go. Lecture sitting, cross. Conference sitting, half circle. No. Circle with back sitters. No. Perfect circle. Yes. This is what a Bhakti-vriksha should be like. That means, can you identify the preacher in this? The servant leader or the trainee servant leader? Where is he? Hello? Hi? No, I can't find out. You should not identify yourself separately. You have to be one of them, mix with them, and like a servant, and have equal distribution of the energies. Equal distribution of energies when you sit on the same level in a circle. Sometimes it may not be possible, so then you can have little adjustment. That everything is flexible, but ideally this is the best, and this has always gotten best results whenever this has been practiced. This is the best way to do it. Okay, is this clear? Okay, great. Next, what is the purpose of having sadhu sangha? So now we are discussing about each stages, 6 parts of Bhakti Vriksha. What is the purpose of having sadhu sangha or association of icebreaker? Yeah, next. To bring everyone to a common focus. To bring everyone to a common focus. Everybody should come to the same focus. Krishna consciousness, chanting and surrendering to Krishna. Making them understand Krishna is the supreme. So same focus should come. So this is the actual, the target. Okay, next. To build relationships from the superficial to deeper interaction. You got that? It should not be a superficial relationship. And I can tell you, like my first Bhakti Vriksha group, for a second we never even thought about children, because they are really, really, really my children. They are like that. And we are like such a strong bond of family. I cannot tell you. But that has come because of the system. There's no other reason. No other reason. This is the only reason, and not just me. Any Bhakti Vriksha preacher. I have interviewed maybe more than 20 big top leaders of Bhakti Vriksha. And they have all in their interviews said the same thing. That Bhakti Vriksha builds very, very deep relationship. Very, very deep relationship. First thing is it's a small group, and then there is a lot of interaction. So that's the main purpose of sadhu sangha. Next, to bind the members of the group together as a family. That's what. Got it? Is this clear? Should we proceed? Okay. All right. You want to take the snap? Okay. I'll give you the whole slide. लेना है तो ले लो. Okay. Next. Sankirtana. Yeah. That's how. After the icebreaker, the group has a short kirtana. At this time, there can also be a small arti. So, there are, in India, like in Western countries, people are more punctual in time. So, they come in time, you can have icebreaker first and then kirtan. But in India, it's the other way around. Rarely anybody is in time. So we keep on doing kirtana and wait for them to come. That's what kirtan is for, to wait for them to come. So that's not a very good practice, but what to do? So you can change. Maybe kirtan first, and then as they come, give them the agarbatti and okay, sit, right here. So this is a kirtan. Next, but it should not go too long. It should never go too long. बहुत मजा आ गया. चालू रखो कीर्तन प्रभु जी चालू रखो. No, no, not more than 10 minutes. Okay, it should be limited. Nectar of the holy name, Sri Namamrita and Japa. So this is our third section. Okay, icebreaker, Kirtan, and the third section is Namamrit. So Namamrit, Sri Namamrit is Prabhupada's book on the nectar of the holy name. And from that, we take a small paragraph. So now what I am going to do is, I am going to hand over to you actual papers of Bhakti Vriksha, and they are all different. I mean, no two maybe same. They are from different weeks. But just for example, I am going to give you so you can understand. Take one and pass on the others. So you can see in that Namamrit section is there. You can see nectar of the holy name. You can see that. Okay, pass on to here Mataji's. You can see that Namamrit. You have it in front of you, all of you. Okay, so it's a very small paragraph. You can see it's not too big. Some of you may have big, some of you may have smaller one, but because I told you there are different weeks. This is just an example. Please don't mind even the quality of the paper, or I just took them off from my old files, so please don't mind the quality and print. So here, like I have this in front of me, and here is the Namamrit. It's a very small paragraph. So it's just as small as this, nothing much. And what you have to do, just 10 minutes. Explain, read out and explain. Read out and explain. It's simple. A proper katha type of thing. You have to just read out and explain. Okay, next. And then after you explain, you have to tell them that see the whole importance is about chanting. So let's do one thing. Let's chant together one round, and they'll say okay. So how to do this? There are various things in this. My own experience I'll tell you, and what are ideologies, ideal things to do. I'll tell you that also. So pass on neem beads to them. You know that, and then teach them everything, that how to hold, and everything, each and everything you have to explain to them. Don't expect them to know anything, and if they know wrongly, like they hold like this or something else, then you have to teach them the correct method, everything, and then explain, and then make them chant. And what do? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. No, when we are chanting, for not even for a second, our eyes, the servant leaders, should not be meditating. They should chant, but with their open eyes, and continuously monitor who is doing what. And this chanting is a group together chanting. Means everyone speaks the mantra together. So it will go little longer, but everything becomes very clear. So let's see how. Regularly studying from the book Sri Namamrit and chanting together. Chanting in unison has its advantages. Everyone finishes at the same time. Yeah, it helps to focus on the holy name without worrying about keeping up with others. It focuses on the holy name without worrying about keeping up with others. Next, the slower pace helps one to clearly pronounce every syllable. Otherwise, we have been messing up with the how we what we make. Builds a team spirit. This builds a team spirit. Then no, you must chant together. So team spirit is built up. Next, while chanting in their own way, at their own speed, some tend to become inattentive. But when you are chanting in a group together, everyone is attentive. You ask him, he has the experience of how we are chanting together, and there are 2 or 3 volunteers, because I have a bigger group. So 2 or 3 volunteers are also moving around. Is everyone attentive and chanting properly, holding the beads right, everything? And everyone chants with the full strength, together for 15 minutes. Next, monitoring becomes very easy. It's very easy to monitor in a small group, in a circle. Next, group chanting is also Sankirtan, which has its own benefit. Yeah, I think that's it. That should not be anyone. So my experience, what I did was I introduced a little different system because I had a different group initially, and that system worked very well. What I did is I asked them that, okay, do you have any problems in your life? Do you have any of your relatives sick or they are in some suffering? Let's chant for them. So what we do is I would say, okay, for my Gurudev, for my such and such relative, for your relative, for you to get good numbers in your exam. Like that, we'll say everything together and then we'll say, okay, we have the deities here, Tulsi Devi, and we'll offer our group chanting to Tulsi Devi and ask her to offer it to the Lord, and then we'll see the results. Like that. And then um, there's one more thing. I'd ask them to close their eyes and meditate that on each and every japa, you are holding one tulsi leaf and offering to the lotus feet of the Lord. Every chant that you do, you are offering one tulsi. If you are opening your eyes, then concentrate on the deities. That's the condition. And then we start chanting. And please believe me, it actually happens. I mean, whatever we are, when there are cancer cases that got cured, we had such unimaginable results. Unimaginable. Once one of the devotees, I'm talking about a little long back, one devotee came to me and he said, Prabhu, one of my neighbors, she's on the deathbed since 6 years. She's not dying. And everyone wants her to die because she's suffering so much. What to do? I said, okay, we'll chant for her. I said, okay. So we chanted for her. And then the class got over. I was standing down on the building on the road, and that person called me. Prabhuji went. This has happened many times, many things. Many of our members got unimaginable results by group chanting. We know that this is not the real purpose of chanting, but that's how you make them feel, and then you explain to them that, see, this is not the target. And we explain to them that the real purpose of chanting is to get Krishna Prem and not any other thing. But these are byproducts, and because our sufferings are already there and we have to get out of them so that we can progress in devotional life, we are doing it, and then they agree. So that's how we get good results, very good results. And this recent class, which what I'm talking about, the result is unbelievable. Actually, you have to go all the way to 64 weeks to make them chant 16 rounds. But whereas in this group, in the fourth week, each and every member is chanting 16 rounds. In the fourth week, can you believe it? I mean, that is the energy that we got. But group chanting works well. I mean, you should never miss it. As far as possible, don't try to miss the group chanting. Okay. So in this is Krishna Katha, spiritual edification, group discussion. This is the center part of the whole Bhakti Vriksha class. The central part, core, and the most important discussion, group discussion. In his purport of Shrimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada explains, by hearing discussions between devotees, both the materialist and the transcendentalist are benefited. The materialist, see, by hearing the discussion between devotees, materialists and transcendentalists, both are benefited. So, what is important? Discussion. Discussion is important. And the materialist is benefited by the association with devotees because his life then becomes regulated, so that his chance of becoming a devotee or making the present life successful for understanding the real position of the living entity is increased. The discussion of spiritual matters amongst devotees is beneficial for everyone without Exception, of course, exception. So the discussion is important. Next, the Istagoshti approach produces enlivening exchanges. So by now you would have understood that the whole central part is all on discussion. So the main focus is on discussion. So how will understand how to do it? Next, you have it in your paper, so you can see the spiritual edification part. The bigger one, big paragraph, the spiritual edification. There is a paragraph, and then there are some questions. You can see that, all of you. Okay. So no need of an expert lecturer to have a fruitful Krishna katha. No need of an expert lecturer. Okay. What is the qualification of a trainee servant leader? A trainee servant leader, when can he start taking a class? What do you think? In the Bhakti-vriksha Manual it is written, if he is chanting 8 rounds, that is good enough to go. Even if he is chanting 8 rounds, he can start a new class. You can train him like that. It's that simple, because everything is ready. The whole material is ready. He doesn't have to do much hard work. Right? Okay, next. By directly participating, everyone learns more. Next. Well, I would like to go back to this. By directly participating, everyone learns more. That means you can understand everyone has to participate. It's compulsory. Everyone has to be a participant. Next. Devotees learn to interact in a cooperative, constructive way. These two things. Devotees learn to interact in a cooperative and a constructive way. That's very, very important, because that's what we lack generally. We are discussing about it, and that's what we are supposed to do. Next, philosophical understanding is constantly monitored. Philosophical understanding is monitored. Is he understanding it correctly, or is he going in some other direction? Is all monitored automatically. Next, it eliminates an apathetic passive attitude, the spectator syndrome. You know what is this syndrome? When you go to some katha or some lecture, I mean, in temple, if you are sitting and hearing a lecture, don't tell me that you are not suffering from this. Most of us are suffering from this spectator syndrome. We are having our eyes open, but something else is going on in the mind. For me, for sure, I know that. Next, it avoids the danger of bored, semi-conscious or sleepy audiences. Sorry. So, it avoids the danger of bored, semi-conscious or sleepy audiences, because each and every member of Bhakti Vriksha has to participate. That's a rule. Next. See, why are we sitting in circle? This is the purpose. If there is, lecturing sitting arrangement, पीछे वाले तो, they will enjoy. But if you are sitting in a circle, you're looking at everybody. Everybody is looking at everybody. So nobody can escape. Very simple. It is a good training for preaching. We'll see how it is. Next, devotees can open their minds in an intimate, non-threatening atmosphere. They can open their minds in intimate, because they like each other, and non-threatening atmosphere. Challenge नहीं आएगा कि ये क्या बोल रहा है sir. Nothing like that. Next, everyone is enriched by the realizations of others. They are enriched by the realizations of others, because everyone is supposed to speak about their realization. When they speak, others, they understand. Oh yeah, maybe, yeah, that's right. So our knowledge continuously grows in this atmosphere. Next, so that's about it. Now the same discussion we are continuing. Krishna Katha, spiritual edification, group discussion. Yes, next. So there are 3 main parts. You please have a look at your papers. There are questions, and in the questions there are 3 sections, 3 different questions. You can see that the title. What is it? Discovery. Next, Understanding and application, right? So these are the three types of questions that you are having. So what is the difference? Now understand. Please have a look over here. Discovery, that means you have to find out. You have, how do you conduct this class? I'll tell you. You don't do anything. The servant leader doesn't do anything. Ask them to read one by one. Okay, read one para, another third para, fourth para, they read. And then you tell them, what do? You have to divide them into groups. Ask them to get up from their places, make a group, three or four, or maybe five in each group, and then ask them to move around in some other corner of the room. Make them sit, give them 15 minutes, 10 minutes, ask them to go through the whole paragraph, study it in a group, and then answer the questions. Get the questions ready, answers ready, and then we'll come together and answer them. You got it? Make a group, make groups, give them this thing. You don't have to explain a word, don't have to do anything. Make them study on their own, discuss, and then come up with the answers. So they will come up. So what is in discovery? The questions are supposed to be found out from the paragraph exactly and have to be read out simply. Just read out as it is. That means you're training them to follow completely as it is without any adulteration. Just follow what we are saying, what Prabhupada is saying. So that is the training you are giving in the first section, discovery. Then comes understanding. So then they have to find out from the paragraph the answer and then explain in their own words. Find out and explain in their own words, not to read out. So that means you are giving them little room to speak little bit from their knowledge or experience, maybe some words from their experience, but the essence should be from the paragraph. You don't have to deviate. They can't say, okay, I think, no, not you think. What we read, that you speak, but in your own language. So that is understanding. Is this clear? You okay, fine. And then the application is you are giving them freedom. You are giving them full freedom. आपकी जिंदगी में जो भी हुआ उसमें से कुछ बोलो. Say something so that they don't feel confined, कि ये तो हमको हमारा independence चला गया. No, give them independence. One question, it's not much. You can see application, you will have one or maximum two questions. And from their life experience, speak something freely. Okay, what is the fun in this? How do you conduct this? When the groups come back, make them sit again in the circle, and one by one, each one has to speak, but they have to speak what they had discussed within the group, not individually. If somebody is sitting in a corner and doing alone, disqualify. No, you can't do it alone. You have to discuss in the group, come up with the answers from the group, and then speak. So, and then everyone has to speak. Nobody can sit silently. Everybody has to speak. So from the very first class, you're making them gain confidence to speak. They'll feel embarrassed, they'll feel shy, they'll feel this, they'll feel that, but no, you have to speak. We'll close our eyes, you crack jokes, say something, but make him speak. And maybe one class he won't speak, second class he has to speak. So like that, they start speaking and they gain confidence. I can speak philosophy. I can teach about Krishna. Wow. And then he can speak to his friends. You got it? So you're making him a preacher from the very first class. That is this part, discovery, understanding and application. So is this clear? Oh yes, bro.
For every part, the group, like the question and the answer for the questions will come from the group, or for the discovery and understanding, this will make the group will answer, and then while the questions or application come,
Very good question. It can be either way around. I mean, you can ask them to give individual answers, but if the time is not there, then you can ask them to, say something what you discussed in the group. You can say, but ideally, it could be personal questions. You can ask them personally to, say something from their own lives. If it's a group of 7, you can manage that. The time is enough. But if they are 15, then maybe you would like to say, okay, what did you discuss in the group for the last question? Something like that. Did you get me? Okay. All right. Next. Uh, Krishna Prachar, preaching is the essence, preaching, plans, and reports, right? So, from the very first class, we make them study this book of Prabhupada. You have it in your paper. Just turn around and see. Preaching is the essence. It's a very small paragraph, very small one. It's from the book, Preaching of the Essence. You read it, you can read it out, explain. Okay, coming back to the previous one, spiritual edifications, when they all answer the questions, you feel something is missing, then for 5 or 10 minutes you can say something, expert speaking something that, yeah, I know little better. So then you can explain.
You mean this is not a class, and you have to direct shift to discovery, understanding is built, then later on class.
Later on, not exactly class, but maybe you can clarify or direct them properly. Like that's how I do. Like when they answer, and then I generally say, in my opinion, is it not? I say, in my opinion, I think this should be the answer. Then say, oh yeah, yeah, right, because they know that we know little better. So then, and then little more explanation we give, and then we may give class if the time permits. But if the time permits, we have 45 minutes for that, so we have to be time constrained. Okay, so preaching plans and report. Yeah, next. In this session, the devotees report on the preaching activities of the past week. The group shares their experiences and their realizations. So how do we do that? Do this. We study that paragraph. Preaching is the essence. After that, we discuss what is the importance of preaching, and then we give them target. From the very first week, give them the target to preach. Okay. To whom? To your family members, to your neighbors, to your friends, to your office colleagues, or maybe you can go out on the street. If you are bold enough, go out on the street and start preaching. And what you have to do? You have to get at least one new member the next time you come, or prepare them for the next class, or get them to the temple, or make them chant one round, or give them some assignments. So every time your assignment changes, and you keep on discussing about the preaching assignments. How do you manage these preaching assignments? See, if you miss this, you're going to end up in the same Bhakti Vriksha for the life. Believe me, because growth comes from here. The multiplication comes from here. The Bhakti Vriksha increases in its size from here. If you miss this, you're gone. You keep on continuing as a Nama-hatta. So you have to give them some assignment and make them go out and speak. That's it. And then I take feedback. What did you do? And I would say, I'm not seeing any new face this time. That means nobody has done anything. No, Prabhuji, we did. We tried so much, but they are not ready to come. What to do? Okay, you tried. Very good. Krishna is very happy. Encourage them and give them next assignment. Like that. Okay, so next. Individual reports on particular missions. They can also tell about challenges that they met and how they faced them. They will meet challenges that वो तो बोलता है कि शंकर भगवान ही भगवान है, शिव जी ही भगवान है, what to do प्रभु जी, I didn't have answer. Okay, so this is your challenge. Let's sit and discuss. Maybe after the class we can individually discuss, and some important points we'll discuss it now, that how to attend this kind of challenges, So that's it's fun. It's a lot of fun and learning for us also and for them also. So next, in the preaching session, the group also makes plans for the future week, or for longer periods. Who will follow which context? Who will follow which context? Which two devotees will go out together as a vision team? This point. Which two devotees will go out together as a vision team? You're visiting the homes of other people. You have to have two, and there are rules. We have Bhakti-vriksha Manual. You must read the manual if you really want to do Bhakti-vriksha. In that it is explained how the house visit should be done, what dressing should be there, how to behave, Otherwise, he is a new devotee and he would go to somebody's house and say, "Oh, hey, wait, give me a clean chair, plastic chair. I can't sit on your sofas. Oh, don't give me water. No. Keep away. Go far. You are not taken bath. Go. So finished, gone. Everything finished. That is called as a cultural shock. They will give them a cultural shock. Shock. Oh, they have come from Mangal Graha or somewhere. I don't know where they have come from. How they are behaving. So all those things are discussed in the manual. What to do and what not to do while you visit. Okay, next. Systematic preaching is what really makes the difference between a real Bhakti Vriksha group and any other regular home program. The difference between other programs and Bhakti Vriksha is systematic preaching. All our programs that we have done all our life long, there was no preaching essence material in that, no assignment for preaching, and so the same thing went on for years and years. But this is the difference in Bhakti Vriksha. You have to make them preach. Next. Here we are, Krishna Prasad. Yeah. In the group meeting, prasad should be kept as plain as possible so that you can manage. Shouldn't be a feast. But my Bengali group, they just won't listen to me. They just don't listen to me. I told them 1,000 times, but we always, invariably, every week we have a huge feast, sweet and everything. They are so enthusiastic. Okay, then let them do. But ideally, the host, the one who is having Bhakti Vriksha in his place, should not be overburdened. And there should be a team, or if there's not a team, it should be plain, but the stomach should be filled up of each and every member. They should not go out and eat or go home and prepare. That should not be done. So it is best to keep it simple because it should not become a financial burden for the host, and it should also be easy to cook. The host should not spend the whole day in the kitchen. How Mataji and you know we know that Mataji has spent almost all her life in cooking. That's how it is, right? So it shouldn't be that big burden on special occasions, birthdays, promotions, graduations, picnics, viewer programs. The group can hold a feast. Yeah, you can, but on special occasions. Next. One should never skip prasadam as it is one of the most important and integral parts of our preaching system as instructed and demonstrated by Srila Prabhupada. That we know. Next. Also, prasadam arrangement relieves the members from the burden to cook at home. See? And saves their time, and hence they will be more comfortable in attending the weekly sessions along with their families. This is important. Otherwise, they have to go home and cook means finish. They will think twice before coming. कि अभी घर जाके बनाने का. I had such experience. One of the classes, Leelamrita explored her talents, and every week she used to make a new item. And there were some people who would come and say, "Oh, we are doing Saturday," and my class would be always on Saturday. So 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, fourth week he left doing Saturday. शनिवार बंद कर दिया. क्यों? इतना अच्छा प्रसाद छोड़ेगा कौन? इतना सालों का doing Saturday, he gave up just for prasad. So that is the effect. We should not skip prasad. Next. Shiksha levels. So here is another very important part of Bhakti Vriksha, which generally, this is actually applicable to any program that you are doing. If you are doing Nama-hatta, this is applicable. You are doing counseling system, it's applicable. You are doing anything. You are not doing anything. You have a simple preaching program, but Shiksha level is applicable. This is actually independent from the Bhakti Vriksha system. This Shiksha level is in a way independent from Shiksha level. Let's see how. There are 5 Shiksha levels we talked about. First is Shraddhavan, chanting at least one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day and reading Prabhupada's books. 2. Krishna Sevak. These are the levels. Chanting at least 4 rounds of japa, refraining from meat eating, recognizing Lord Krishna as the Supreme. personality of Godhead, and avoiding grossly immoral acts. See, Krishna Sadhak, chanting at least 8 rounds, etc. Next, Srila Prabhupada Ashray, chanting 16 rounds, following 4 regulative principles, etc. And Sri Guru Charan Ashray, practicing Srila Prabhupada's Ashray standards for a minimum of 6 months. Then he can get shelter from any guru he wants. That's free. I mean, there's no guru preaching. It's free. You have to ask him to select any of the gurus he is inspired to take up, or maybe you can introduce him to various gurus of ISKCON and about their profile and everything, and then let him choose. That's about it. So Sri Guru Charan Ashray is our target. That's the target of Bhakti Vriksha. One of the targets, I should say. So apart from his becoming a leader, he is also ready for taking initiation. At least, see, 6 months he is already practicing. So that is the final level. 8 modules, right? You remember? So the 8th module, at the end of the 8th module, the last seminar, 5th seminar, is about Sri Guru Charan Ashray. And then on the same day, he will take an oath that okay, I'll take initiation within 1 year now. So he'll start doing, I mean, he's already doing all the sadhana, everything, he's serving, he's full-fledged devotee by this time. So just imagine, if your new group member comes to this level on 64th week, how about it? Is it not amazing? Is it not wonderful? Can you imagine? 64th week and he is on this level. And it happens, it's there. It does happen. The input versus output ratio, I always say this, input versus output ratio of Bhakti Vriksha is the highest. No other program has that much output ratio. This is the pipe, get in, get out, and become a full-fledged devotee. Next. I could have discussed more about Siksha levels. We have ready-made certificates. We can print it for you and give it to you. You can just write names and give out, things like that. And we have some guidelines for Siksha levels. There are things. So I can discuss personally later on. Okay. So we are as such done with the Bhakti Vriksha system, and we'll just discuss some of we are almost at the end now. So we'll discuss the core things. 3 congregational development steps. Yeah, here are the steps. Contact. So first is you contact them, you get them in. That is outreach. So
How you get contact?
that's what I'm asking you. You tell me what are the different ways to get a contact.
So is it okay if we have got a big group?
Yeah.
Within that group we can make some leaders and start.
Fair enough. Anything. You can open a Pani Puri shop somewhere and get contacts. Do anything, get contacts. Simple. You have to get them in. Like you are doing in temple. You have a table, here devotees, they are getting contacts. You can go out, get contacts. Inside, within circle, get contacts. Anyhow, this is outreach. Outreach is a different subject. So get contacts and get them in. So ideally, I'll tell you what is ideal. Ideally, you should make them join 3 days Bhagavad Gita, or 6 days, 6 weeks, or something like that, DYS. And after that, most ideally, after that you should put them in Bhakti Vriksha. Directly putting them in Bhakti Vriksha is little, not very, may not work out very well. The dropping out ratio may increase. So in my view, you should get them through DYS or something else. Then they will stick to it. That's what Kolkata is doing. Kolkata, right now they have about 150 Bhakti Vrikshas in Kolkata, all around. So how do they do it? They on the Janmashtamis they have big tables and they get 30,000 people filling out the forms, and then they boil down to some other program. Then out of that 10,000, then they boil down, then 4,000-5,000, like that, and then finally the remaining essence they divide into various groups all around Kolkata, and that's Bhakti Vriksha. That's how they do it. So like that, you can do something like that. Do outreach programs like Damodar program. ghee lamp program, Damodar program. It's a wonderful outreach program. Bangalore, any place in South, they are doing public. Even she is doing. I am not going participating actively, but she and Indulekha, they are doing public Damodar programs. They are going to Sai Baba temple. They will go to Hanumanji temple. They will stand with a table, and on Guru or on Thursday they will go to Sai Baba temple. On Saturday they will go to Hanuman temple, and they'll ask them to just take a lamp, offer, and then they are interested. They'll talk little, take their details, and start contacting. That's how, So you can take any outreach programs, download program, whatever suits you, and you can start. Next, after you get them, you have to cultivate. So the Bhakti Vriksha is cultivation and training program, and then next, yeah, and care, commitment. You have to get commitment from them. You also have to commit, and you have to also get commitment from them. It's bi-directional. You have to also be committed, and you also have to get commitment from them that yes, I'm going to follow all my life. Yeah. So what is the purpose of doing it? Is education and training, forming and preparing, correcting and enthusing. This is the target, this is the goal, this is the purpose. So this is why we are doing it: educating them, forming, preparing them, correcting and enthusing them to become preachers. Yeah. Next, relationship between Bhakti-vriksha program and the temple. Prabhu. Okay. On the 1st of June, Prabhupada wrote to Tamal Krishna Maharaj, yeah, the boys and girls from neighborhood coming to help the temple activities is good result, etc. He is saying, in the essence, that it's very good that people are coming from outside and helping the temple. It's very nice. You make, encourage them, and the congregations should come and help the temple. That's the main target. All the congregations ultimately should work for the temple. So Bhakti Vriksha is a temple centric program. Got it? Okay, next. The advantages, yeah. Efficient in training. Bhakti Vriksha is efficient in training. It promotes satsanga, focuses upon the individual, right? Personal, yeah. Next, economical. It's very economical. 10 or 15 in your house, a host, how much you have to spend for prasadam? Not much. It's really insignificant. You can't count the economy in that. It's very cheap. Upward mobility, continuous growth. There's continuous growth of everyone. Next, not limited by the size of the building. You can have it in any place. That much place, fine. 10 will sit there and do Bhakti Vriksha. No, not limited by the size of the building. Okay, anywhere. Versatile. You can understand. See, I have Bengali groups. Not all are rich, so we have done Bhakti Vriksha in such places that there's hardly a place to sit. But then we've done it. It's not, definitely not limited by building or economy. It's not. Versatile. Removes the us and them feeling. This is what we are targeting for all the leaders. The us and the them feeling is the one which is hurting us right now. So that it removes. Next, avoids culture shock. Next, generates sense of belonging. Next, fosters good relations, effective in engaging people. Hmm? Furthers outreach. That means there are more avenues. You find more avenues of outreach, get more people in. Next, changes values. Life values changes. Everything, the whole personality. I am a product of Bhakti Vriksha. I became a devotee because of Bhakti Vriksha. I'm telling you. Just I attended 4 or 5 classes, and there was a total change in my personality. Just 4 or 5 classes. Like he has also experienced, like Jignesh, in 4 or 5 classes he is the changed man, is it not? Yeah, like that. We are seeing that. Next, highly accessible, stability of the members. Next, generates more temple devotees, depends. Offers engagement to former temple residents. Former temple residents who are now out, brahmacharis got married, got out, what to do? No, nothing to do. Okay, do Bhakti Vriksha. So that's an engagement. Next, exponentially self perpetuating. Next, resists persecution. That's it. So these are, you can meditate on them. It's all explained. Each one of them is explained in separately in the Bhakti-vriksha Manual. If you read the manual, each one is separately explained. Next, and basic difference between Bhakti-vriksha group and non-Bhakti-vriksha group is a whole chart. Come on. So these are some comparisons. What is Bhakti Vriksha? What is not Bhakti Vriksha? Like that, like trained group leaders, clear duties, responsibilities. Leader is flanked by a trainee leader who learns apprenticeship, etc. The group multiplies into two. All that. So that you can go through later on. Next. So how to start? Now the question is. So what we suggest is this: to start a Bhakti Vriksa program, you need a person who understands how the program works. First, is enthusiastic and dedicated to make it happen. All right. Next, start up group. Just meditate on this word, startup group. So every good Bhakti Vriksha starts with a startup group. So how does it? What is a startup group? In a place where there is already a congregation, one way of starting Bhakti Vriksa program is to begin by forming a startup group. Yeah. Next, the idea is to form a group only with potential leaders and train them in Bhakti Vriksha group dynamics. So this is the group. These are potential leaders. You are there in front of me. We can start off with a startup group. I can conduct Bhakti Vriksha with you, all of you, and in 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 weeks, you will be ready to go. You'll learn it all in 4 or 5 weeks, maybe, and then you can have your own group started, or you already have your group. You can introduce Bhakti Vriksha. That is called as a startup group. It's a it's a startup, ignition and start. So ideally, the preachers and one who knows Bhakti Vriksha. Next, the preacher will show how to conduct discussion in the weekly meeting. After a couple of times, others will take turns. That means we are having a Bhakti Vriksha, and I'll ask Padmamali Prabhu, okay, please, this time you conduct Bhakti Vriksha. I am here, I am sitting, you conduct Bhakti Vriksha. And we all will be there. Next time I'll ask Murli Prabhu, please conduct Bhakti Vriksha, we are sitting here. Like that. So each one will get a turn to take one Bhakti Vriksha class and will get full confidence that okay, I can do it. That's about it. That's the startup group. Yeah. After 5 or 6 weeks, when everybody's got the feeling, each of the trainee leaders will be ready to start leading a group. They can be new, they could be old, they can be trainee leaders, they can be anyone, but they'll be ready to start a group. So they should get the feeling. That's it. Next. Okay, hold it. Very important. So my question to you: what do you think is the secret of a successful Bhakti Vriksha? What do you think? I'm asking the core of the success. What is one thing you would say that no, this would make Bhakti Vriksha successful?
Continuity of the leaders, creating leaders.
Continuity of the leaders. Okay. Yeah.
Creating leaders.
Creating leaders. Okay.
Personal care.
Personal care. Very important. Yes. Next. Yeah. Intimate relationships. Intimate relationships. Yeah. The building relationships. Personal care. Okay. Anything else? Yes, bro. For following the standard models. Okay. All right. Anything else?
Our behavior.
Our behavior. Okay. Right. Okay. Now what I am showing you here. You want to say something? Yeah.
The blessings to each and
True.
every leaders.
True. Now what I am going to show you here is the essence of what the topmost Bhakti Vriksha leaders said repeatedly in their interviews. Repeatedly, what they have been stressing on, that their 15, 18, 20 years of experience of Bhakti Vriksha, and the top leaders like program directors or supervising preachers, what they said is what I am writing here is. Okay, so the number one is LOVE. Simple. Just love. Love your members. Love like children. That's it. You will think a lot of things about a lot of technicalities, but oh, okay, they will come next. The first thing is love. Give them real, genuine love, and they will be yours. But you need to give them genuine love. You may think like care, but yeah, care. But first is love. The genuine love. They are missing the love. Everyone is missing the love. You know that. We are hungry for love, and that's what makes them stick to Bhakti Vriksha. That's the experience of all the leaders. And then the care. Love is there, but you have to care. Take care like children. What he is doing, where is he going? Is he playing some mischief? What is happening? Like I ask him always, what is Jignesh doing? Please tell me. Give me a feedback. Keep a track. Be cautious. What he is doing? No, you have to take care. And then I keep asking Jignesh also, are you okay? Everything is fine? Any problems in your house? Anything in your life? You have to take care continuously. And there are examples. I have taken interviews. There are books written that Bhakti Vriksha, if someone had a bankruptcy in the business, completely finished, and just one Bhakti Vriksha group brought him back to life. Everything, the full financing was done by Bhakti Vriksha group. Like somebody is in hospital, nobody to take care, no family members, and the Bhakti Vriksha group, every day they are there in the hospital and they are taking care. The best experience I think Madhavanand Prabhu must be having, because there the whole Tirupati structure is based on Bhakti Vriksha. They are having so many, about 50 or 75 I think Bhakti Vriksha, more maybe. Huh? 115. I have wrong statistics. They have, but the whole thing is Bangalore, completely dependent on Bhakti Vriksha. Like that. I'll show you the statistics now. Almost the time. So there is strong bonding and dependability, and you can, you can be, that this is my real family. So that comes from Bhakti Vriksha by love and care and respect. That means you respect them first. Your members, you respect them. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranam Prabhuji, Aiye Prabhuji, Baithe Prabhuji. No, you display how to respect, and like sorry to use this word, but like monkeys, they will learn. You take the cap off and throw it, they will take the cap off, throw it, they will learn. Oh, Dandvat Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, and they will start. So how you give them respect, they will learn to. I have known in our ISKCON, there are some very good leaders who have set good examples of respect, and there are some very blank leaders who have set very bad examples of, behavior, very rude, very authoritative, and it has been there in our ISKCON movement. So which one we should take? This is the one what the leaders are saying. The successful Bhakti Vriksha leader. Love, care, and respect them. Like I'm not boasting about myself, but I have a practice in my Bhakti Vriksha. He knows, like the devotees, they will offer obeisances to me, and I'll offer my obeisances back to them. And they always say, Prabhuji, you are our Siksha Guru. I said, oh, Siksha Guru, what? I am not Siksha Guru, I am just a mediator. I am a convener, I am a facilitator. You are a devotee, I am offering obeisances to you. What's wrong? Like that. So then it will work. Next. So we are done. Reference books and modules. This is the core of it. I don't have English here, but this one Hindi. This one. Yeah. Okay. So this is the Hindi version. I don't have English hard, but I have everything in soft. We have everything available in soft on our website. You can download it with some little donation, or you can, if you want, you can donate me directly. I'll give you a pakka receipt for that, and I'll give you all the soft if you want. And otherwise, I've got some books here also. Basically, they are for demonstration, but Godruma Kalpatavi, I've got some here in Hindi and English. So this is the Bhakti-vriksha Manual. This is the English version, the revised version. And I would say, if you really are intending to do Bhakti-vriksha, you must read it. If you read it, you will know what is Bhakti-vriksha. Like Delhi, they have about 130, 25 to 30 Bhakti-vrikshas now. 15 years back when they started, so Venu Krishna Prabhu and Dinanayak Prabhu, they for 1 year they just kept on studying the books. That's it. And after 1 year, when they launched, the very first go, they had more than 30, 35 Bhakti Vrikshas. And then they are growing ever since then. So if you study the books, you will be more successful. That's important. Next. So this is the Bhakti Vriksha training module. I have this one. Yeah, I got the second. This is the first book. This is the second one. Um this is just one sample. These are the modules ready made for each week. 64 weeks, all modules are ready. This book has all the instructions for the leader and the material for the member. So what you will do, everything is mentioned in this. Everything. You don't have to do, you don't have to put any weight on your brain. Anything. Everything is here. What you are supposed to say today, what you are supposed to, everything is there. So all instructions for the leader, all for the member is there. For members, we have some ready-made books, like you can give them out. Yeah, this one you can, no, that one. This, like this one, you can see this. So these are the books for the members. You can give them out. This is in Hindi, of course. We can have it in English also, and there are some variations. Like ideally, Vijay Venu Gopal Prabhu and Prema Padmini Mataji, they designed the first module. So that is the most accepted and recognized module in Congregational Development Ministry all over the world, and it has been translated in many languages. We have that. Apart from that, there are other leaders who have generated their own modules. Even you, if you are capable, you can generate your module. But easiest is to follow the ready-made module. So you can get the modules from us, and everything is in there. And then there is a handbook. Next, handbook for Bhakti-vriksha members. So it's a instruction guide, extra, like how to do arti and what to do, how to listen, how to listen to the class, how to wear clothes, all those things, how to wear a tilak. Everything is in that handbook. So it's a complete training, complete all round. Even worshipping is included. Everything is included in that. So this is the complete set of Bhakti Vriksha. This is the whole thing. Yeah, next. Okay, so the approximate number of Bhakti Vriksha groups in the world. Yeah, Russia, 1100 Bhakti Vrikshas. I took interview of the Bhakti Vriksha Program director of Russia, um, Angira Muni Prabhu, and I took his interview for 1 hour, and it was amazing. Sorry. So they have now 1100 Bhakti Vrikshas. Just imagine. How is that? 1100 groups are there on record. Middle East would contain like UAE and Oman and Muscat and all that, and Bahrain, all those parts, surmounting everything. Thanks. Maybe 600 more, maybe more definitely. Bangalore, we have 3 temples and 3 extension centers, right, in Bangalore. So in all, their total Bhakti Vriksha groups are more than 300. I'm sure. I'm pretty sure it's more than 300. More, right? Okay. And then Kolkata 150, New Delhi 130 something, Chennai 100. Actually, Chennai, they had, when I went in 2013, when I interviewed them, they said we have 85 Nama-hattas. Out of that, 25 have been converted into Bhakti Vriksha. and they were in the process of changing the whole Nama-hatta into Bhakti-vriksha. By now they have more than 100 Bhakti-vrikshas, not a single Nama-hatta. Everything converted into Bhakti-vriksha. Tirupati, more. He knows better. Punjab Vibhag 75, Surat 35. They have 35 Bhakti-vrikshas. Meerut, I, by Krishna's grace, I went to Meerut for giving them training, and I don't know what happened, but now there are 30 Bhakti Vrikshas in 3 years. So, Meerut, thank you, and Houston, 25, like that. I mean, these are some random statistics I'm showing you. So, each place, see, we are where we are missing, you can understand. Ahmedabad. If we get fired up like them, if we get fired up, Ahmedabad has huge capacity, you know. There is a huge room. The whole world is ours. You can go out and preach and you can do a magical thing. So that's about it. Yeah. Yeah. ISKCON Congregational Development Ministry. It's a ministry by the GBC. There are many things: counseling system, Nama-hatta, Bhakti-vriksha, Damodar program, Shraddha Kutir, and there are many things. All programs are our tools. We are promoting them. Next, I have some handouts. I'll give you, each one of you, some handout. These are our contact details. Please visit this website. It's called Congregation, and if you want, you can download the soft copies of all the books and everything, or you can get it from me, as I told you, with some reasonable donation, whatever is mentioned there. CDM office ISKCON is the Gmail address. This is my email address, my mobile number. You can contact me anytime for this. Anytime, any questions, you can come up to me. You can contact me on my mobile or WhatsApp. Uh, should I change or you want to copy it? Most of you might be having my number. Yeah? Okay, next. So I sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you all very much for being here and patiently hearing. That also like tapasya with empty stomachs. So I really appreciate that, and I am falling at your feet and thanking you very much. Thank you. And we'll have now question answers while prasadam is being served. I hope that that sounds good, or you want to discuss some things now. What's the best? While prasadam? Is that okay? Any quick questions or anything? That would be really important. Yeah. Very good. Very important question. Yeah. What to do after 64? Mostly after 64 weeks, all the members, mostly either they will be trainee servant leaders or servant leaders, or they will be enthusiastic to enough to take up some kind of preaching. So either they join the temple or mostly they are engaged in something. And then they can take up Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, take up another, say maybe deity courses or something. But they are full fledged inside as a devotee. So that's it. I mean, that's the entry point. After that, the whole world is there. They can do anything. But mostly they take up new Bhakti Vriksha system. That's how. I mean, they take up a class. नहीं तो इतना, how we can have 1100 and 600 and all those, all the members, they became preachers. So there is a potency in Bhakti Vriksha, right? Okay, any other questions? Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki Gaur Premanande. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you.